Okay, we're gonna have to bring up an analysis board and go to what just happened because I'm in shock. All of a sudden, we're talking about how Wesley's going to play for a win. He's simply up a knight for a pawn, and then rook f5, rook f4, and he goes king to f8.
Inexplicable. I don't know, mouse slip or
what is king f8?
Is it a mouse? No.
Was he expecting rook g4? No, but it doesn't make any sense.
No, that's the thing. It doesn't make sense as a pre-move.
In no context does it make sense. Like rook takes h5 is a free pawn there. And he plays king f8 and loses his rook. Yeah, because you play
king h6. I can't explain. We're going to have to ask him. That doesn't...
he must have been fuming. Oof. All right, let's get back to the live game.
Wow.
Because that one's over. But wow, and that could put you on tilt so quickly.
Yes. Yeah.
Hikaru talked about this yesterday, and you would think, yeah, exactly. But Hikaru was talking about it yesterday, and you would think Hikaru is like immune to tilt because he's played so much and he's usually winning all his games. But he said yesterday he was going on tilt. He was down 2 games. And he was losing another game, and he won the game very fortunately because Jan Krzysztof blundered. But Wesley's still leading, and if he can calm himself, keep his composure here, and just take a breath. Just you blundered. You were playing a pretty good game there. You're still in the lead. You're playing good chess, and just calm yourself down. But this is a dangerous situation right now with both sides playing opposite sides, with white trying to attack the king side, black trying to attack the queen side. It's one of those things where if you're not objective, if you don't keep your head on your shoulders and say, okay, black has some concrete threats that I need to be concerned about, it's not just a one-sided affair here, it could be trouble for Wesley.
Yeah, a cool move in these positions is bishop f6. I'm not sure he's going to play it, but bishop f6 is often, when there's a queen on g2, it looks really nice. Sometimes it really is the best move, and here I think it is as well, but as long as you don't take with the pawn, you're still alive as black.
Right. Because the bishop on e7 is defended, so there's no... I mean, the d6 pawn is now hanging, so that's one of the other ideas. Not only you putting your bishop on an imposing square, if you take on e7, d6 can fall, but this bishop now can go to e6, putting pressure on a2, and, well, black is developing very quick play there.
We couldn't show, like, d6 is hanging, right? But
yeah, so let's bring up analysis
super
board.
Active.
No,
guys, what are you guys talking about? I don't know what tilt is. Stop singling me out. I am immune to tilt. I've never tilted.
Yeah, I pulled up on the board here. Just these kind of ideas: rook coming to c8 and queen c5 or queen c7, rook c8 coming, and there's clear counterplay on the open lines on the queen side. So
knight c6. He went for the pawn, huh?
Oh, he did, yeah. And knight c6 is a nice move. Just saying that your rook is pinned to your queen. My knight might come to d4. And white had to be passive for the time being with his knight on c1 to stop the mate on a2. And if you play knight to b3 as sort of like, let me attack this queen, the problem is in these variations is you're still not really coordinated very well. And I can take on d6 and play rook to d8 as just an example and say your back rank is a problem here. And so...
Yeah, but the time, Robert, I'm concerned the time, and it is still a pawn. You get some activity, but I actually don't see the time is like, let's say white just like takes on d8 and plays bishop d3. I'm just wondering how bad it can get if black even gets the knight to d4 and whatever the follow-up is after.
You're right. It's just a position at that point. So the time situation is bad. And so you can play rook d8, bishop d3. But I like that Wesley's spending some time here because he is up nearly a minute on the clock. So he can afford to spend 20 seconds on this move, 30 seconds on this move, and figure it out. And I mean, ideas that come to mind, as you said, trading and playing bishop d3. Bishop h3, instead of taking, was a way to try to get up that bishop. But he goes for your plan here. And I think queen c5 is, generally speaking, a good idea for black, just taking over the dark squares. And then you could push your a pawn, right?
Yeah, queen c5 or queen b6. They'll play a5, a4, a3.
And that's what black is relying on as compensation. It's just this a pawn, plays queen b6. So I don't really know what the exact difference was. Probably he didn't want to allow knight b3 with a tempo or something like that. But look at white and black doing the same thing, right? White is coming on the king side for a g6 or h6. Black on the queen side with an a4, b3, or a3.
Yeah, I take it back a little bit. I think black's position for being a pawn down is pretty decent. I don't see, with limited material, white, when they get in g6 or h6, probably can lock things down. And even here, the endgame is not always terrible if you were to like trade because you get this square on e5 for your knight.
Yep. And
Um,
this d4 square for the queen is really juicy because with a3 coming, it's just a clear mating attack. So
I'm not so sure. If you play g6, you take once, play h6. If you play h6, you can play g6 as well because you have queen d4 after queen f6.
Right.
And then the g5 pawn could be weak in some endgames.
Yep, very true. So he plays h6.
He doesn't have to play g6. He could ignore it.
I think a3. Okay, he played g6.
He's going for this queen d4 line. Excuse me.
The knight e2 stopping queen d4. That's smart.
What do you think? What do you think about queen b8, queen e5? Okay, he's going straight.
Whoa! What?
All right, he's just going to play king f8. Okay.
All right,
he's not concerned. He's like, if you win this h7 pawn, your queen is offside.
Oh, but knight f4 here? Isn't there just a very clear follow-up for white? Knight f4?
Knight f4.
And I'm 30, knight takes g6 check and h7, h8.
Knight takes g6 check is a...
That's so nasty.
That's an issue.
Because if you move your king and mate it, you take, here comes h7, h8.
That's an issue. Well, that's everything. There you go. There you go.
That is filthy. So knight g6 still works, right?
Yeah.
Oh God.
So he could have played queen d4 and...
hey, there's a pre-move that worked. h7.
And h8? Well, there's a check. Yeah, h7.
Yeah. All right.
That was...